Before the first move is made, the war is already over. Most people misunderstand power because they believe victory happens during the conflict itself. They think strength is loud, aggressive, visible, and immediate. They believe the man who attacks first automatically wins. But real power works differently. The smartest victories happen long before open conflict begins. The battlefield is shaped quietly, psychologically, and almost invisibly before anyone realizes a game is even being played. That is where true strategy lives. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. The most dangerous man is not the loudest one in the room. It is the man who studies people silently, understands their weaknesses, and positions himself carefully while everyone else reacts emotionally. And the greatest weakness most people carry is ego. Pride makes people predictable. Validation addiction makes them emotional. The desperate need to feel superior blinds them to manipulation happening directly in front of them. That is why psychological warfare matters more than aggression. Because the smartest man in the war is not the loudest. It's the one who prepared the battlefield before anyone noticed the game began. In this video, you're going to learn how ego becomes one of the easiest human weaknesses to manipulate, and how the smartest strategists win conflicts without direct confrontation. Not through aggression, shouting, or force, but through psychological architecture. Because ego creates blindness. The moment people become emotionally attached to pride, status, validation, or superiority, they stop thinking clearly. They begin reacting instead of observing. And reactive people are predictable people. You'll learn why silence unsettles insecure individuals, how underestimation quietly becomes an advantage, and why emotional reactions expose far more weakness than strength. You'll also understand how perception and narrative shape reality long before results ever appear publicly. This is not about becoming cruel. It's about becoming strategically aware. The goal is to stop moving emotionally and start understanding the hidden psychological patterns controlling human behavior. Because once you understand ego, you begin seeing why so many people destroy themselves without realizing it. Power belongs to the man who stays emotionally detached while everyone else reacts emotionally. Most people mistake ego for confidence. It is not. Real confidence is calm, controlled, and emotionally stable. Ego is different. Ego constantly needs validation, attention, recognition, and superiority to feel secure. And that is exactly what makes it dangerous. Because ego destroys clarity. The ego-driven person becomes emotionally dependent on winning, being admired, appearing important, or proving themselves right. Their decisions stop being strategic and start becoming emotional. They overreact to disrespect. They chase status. They speak too much, trying to appear powerful. And eventually, their own pride blinds them. This is why arrogance is often hidden insecurity. The loudest person in the room is usually compensating for internal weakness. The person obsessed with appearing dominant is often terrified of looking powerless. Ego creates emotional vulnerability because it ties identity to external perception. And once someone becomes emotionally attached to their image, they become predictable. That is the real weakness. You do not need to destroy ego-driven people directly. Most of the time, their own emotions will do the work for you. Pride makes them reckless. Validation addiction makes them manipulatable. Superiority complexes make them underestimate danger until it is too late. Because the ego is not strength, it is insecurity wearing armor. Most people cannot tolerate silence. The moment tension appears, they rush to explain themselves, defend their image, fill the space with words, or react emotionally just to regain control of the situation. And that is exactly why silence becomes powerful. Silence destabilizes ego-driven people because ego depends on reaction. It needs validation, acknowledgement, emotional engagement, and visible attention to feel secure. But when you remain calm and emotionally restrained, insecure people begin fighting battles inside their own mind. They start overthinking. They question what you are thinking. They wonder whether they lost control. They become emotionally uncomfortable because your silence gives them nothing to manipulate, provoke, or predict. That is psychological pressure. And while they react emotionally, you gain something far more valuable: information. People reveal themselves when trying to fill silence. Their tone changes. Their emotions leak out. Their insecurity becomes visible through over-explaining, aggression, nervousness, or impulsive behavior. Meanwhile, strategic calmness keeps your position protected. This is why controlled reactions create power. Silence is not passive weakness, it is active observation. It allows you to study emotional patterns while revealing almost nothing about yourself in return. Because your silence forces insecure people to fight battles inside their own mind. One of the easiest ways to influence people is through their ego. Most individuals believe manipulation only works through fear or pressure. But in reality, admiration is often far more effective. People become emotionally attached to anyone who makes them feel important, intelligent, superior, or admired. That is why validation creates dependency. The moment someone needs constant recognition to maintain their confidence, they become predictable. Their behavior slowly shifts toward protecting the source of that validation. They seek approval without realizing it, and in doing so, they hand over emotional leverage. Machiavelli understood that pride blinds people willingly. Most individuals deceive themselves long before anyone else needs to manipulate them. Compliment their intelligence, feed their sense of superiority, and many will lower their guard automatically. Because people become careless when they feel admired, they speak more freely, reveal more information, overestimate themselves, underestimate others. Their ego creates the illusion of safety while quietly making them easier to guide. This is why the most effective manipulation rarely feels like control. It feels like validation. The smartest strategists understand that emotional dependency is stronger than force. Once a person becomes attached to admiration, they begin managing themselves for you without realizing it. Because a man who needs admiration can be guided by whoever provides it. If you're realizing how predictable ego makes people, subscribe, because psychological strategy changes how you see human behavior forever. Most people are obsessed with appearing powerful immediately. They want recognition, attention, status, and visible dominance. But the desire to be noticed often destroys strategic advantage because visible people attract resistance early. Underestimation creates freedom. When people believe you are harmless, inexperienced, weak, or unimportant, they stop paying close attention to you. They relax. They become careless. And that gives you something extremely valuable: space to prepare quietly. This is strategic invisibility. The smartest individuals often grow silently, while everyone else performs loudly. They build skills, knowledge, influence, and positioning without needing constant validation from others. While emotional people focus on appearances, strategic people focus on preparation. Because people ignore what they consider beneath them. That is why being underestimated is not always an insult. Sometimes it is protection. It allows you to observe without pressure, move without resistance, and improve without attracting unnecessary attacks from insecure people. Machiavellian strategy is rarely loud. It relies on patience, hidden preparation, and quiet growth, while others waste energy trying to prove themselves publicly. Then, When the moment arrives, the results appear suddenly and unexpectedly because nobody prepared for your rise. The most dangerous man in the room is usually the one nobody is watching. Ego becomes most dangerous when it feels threatened. The moment someone believes their status, intelligence, reputation, or superiority is being challenged, emotion begins overpowering logic. And under pressure, ego-driven people often destroy themselves without realizing it. That is why direct attacks are not always necessary. The smartest strategists create conditions where the other person collapses emotionally on their own. A small comparison, a subtle challenge, a quiet contradiction. Even controlled indifference can trigger deep insecurity in someone whose identity depends on external validation. And once ego takes control, emotional overreaction begins. People speak too much trying to defend themselves. They become aggressive unnecessarily. They expose insecurity publicly while attempting to protect pride. Their emotions start making decisions for them, and emotional decisions are rarely strategic. This is the hidden weakness behind superiority complexes. The stronger the ego, the harder it becomes for someone to remain calm under pressure. They feel compelled to prove themselves constantly, and that need to protect image creates predictability. Machiavellian strategy understands this clearly. You do not always destroy opponents directly. Sometimes you simply apply pressure carefully and allow pride to do the damage for you. Because the smartest strike is the one where your enemy destroys himself trying to protect his pride. Most people believe reality is shaped only by facts, but socially, perception often becomes more powerful than truth itself. The way people interpret your behavior, emotional composure, and presence influences how they respond to you long before they fully understand you. That is why perception management matters. Machiavelli understood this clearly when he wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be." Because human beings respond to visible patterns more than hidden reality. Calmness looks like confidence. Emotional control looks like authority. Consistency looks like strength. And people trust those signals instinctively. This is why quiet authority becomes powerful. The calmest person during chaos naturally becomes the psychological reference point for everyone else. While emotional people panic, overreact, or lose control publicly, disciplined individuals create stability through behavior alone. Because people believe emotional patterns more than words, anyone can claim confidence verbally. But controlled behavior under pressure creates far stronger influence than explanations ever will. Reputation is built through repeated emotional consistency over time. That is real social dominance, not loud aggression, not constant attention-seeking, but emotional composure strong enough that other people unconsciously adjust themselves around your presence. Because the calmest person in chaos becomes the reference point everyone else reacts to. At the highest level, psychological warfare is no longer about controlling other people first. It is about controlling yourself so completely that other people lose the ability to control you. That is the real transformation. You stop reacting impulsively, stop chasing validation, stop allowing ego, emotion, and insecurity to dictate your behavior. Instead, you become strategic, patient, emotionally disciplined, and difficult to manipulate. Silence becomes observation. Emotional control becomes protection. Strategic thinking replaces impulsive reactions, and ego mastery creates psychological precision. This is the shift from reactive to architect. Most people live emotionally. They react to pressure instantly, reveal themselves constantly, and make decisions based on pride, fear, or validation. But the man who learns restraint gains an enormous advantage because he sees clearly while others remain trapped inside their emotions. That is where true power begins. I do not react emotionally. I move strategically. Because once a man masters himself internally, external conflict becomes far less dangerous. He no longer leaks information through emotion, pride or insecurity, and the man who masters himself becomes impossible to defeat psychologically. What destroys more people, ego, emotion, or the need for validation?